Our story begins with Kairo Soma, a quiet and introverted teenager who hides more than just his shyness. He hides behind a mask that covers half of his face. He wears it everywhere, at school, at home, even in public. To everyone, it looks strange, but to him, that mask is like armor, something that keeps him safe from judgment, rejection, and the world itself. Because of this, Kairo doesn't have many friends. He prefers solitude, his own thoughts, and silence, until the day his world is shaken, quite literally. During an ordinary school day, Ritsu Hayakawa, his cheerful and popular classmate, accidentally trips and falls right on top of him. The impact leaves Kairo stunned and unconscious. Panicked, Ritsu quickly carries him to the nurse's office, worried he might have hurt him. When Kairo finally opens his eyes, Ritsu tries to apologize, but curiosity gets the better of him. He gently reaches toward Kairo's mask, wondering why he always hides his face. The moment his fingers touch the mask, Kairo reacts like a startled cat. His voice sharp, his temper fierce. He yells at him, defending his boundary with surprising aggression. Everyone at school always thought Kairo was a timid, fragile boy. But this outburst reveals another side, fiery, outspoken, and real. Instead of getting offended, Ritsu bursts out laughing. "So that's the real you," he says with a grin. From that day on, Ritsu becomes strangely attached to Kairo. He follows him everywhere, during breaks, after class, even to the library. Not like a stalker, but like someone fascinated by a puzzle he desperately wants to solve. For Kairo, though, it's exhausting. Ritsu comments on everything, his eating habits, his studying, even the way he walks. But behind all that irritation, there's something else Kairo doesn't admit. For the first time, someone actually sees him. Still, Kairo's life isn't easy. His grades are terrible, especially in math. One day, he stares hopelessly at his failed test, terrified his parents might take away his beloved game console as punishment. Ritsu notices. Without asking, he snatches the paper and laughs softly. "These numbers are crying for help," he teases. Embarrassed and angry, Kairo demands it back. But instead of mocking him, Ritsu offers help. "Let me tutor you," he says. Kairo, defensive as ever, refuses at first. Just then, a group of girls calls out to Ritsu. He goes to talk to them, surrounded by laughter and admiration. From a distance, Kairo watches silently, feeling an unexpected sting. Why would someone so perfect waste time with someone like me? Then, he notices something odd. Ritsu's smile doesn't reach his eyes. His laughter sounds hollow. It's all an act. When Ritsu comes back, Kairo blurts out what he saw. "Your eyes don't smile when your mouth does. You're pretending." Ritsu freezes. No one had ever noticed that before. Instead of denying it, he just chuckles and steps closer. "You're the first person who ever looked that deep," he says softly. "Maybe that's why I like teasing you. You don't just see the surface." He leans in slightly, his voice teasing yet gentle. "You should be careful hiding behind that mask. It makes people want to know what's underneath." Flustered, Kairo pushes him away, heart pounding. Something unspoken lingers between them. As days pass, Ritsu's interest only grows. He still helps Kairo with math, showing unexpected patience and kindness. During one of their study sessions, when Kairo finally accepts the tutoring deal, Ritsu jokes, "Then you owe me something in return." Kairo nervously agrees without knowing what he means. The lessons become more personal. Between laughter, shared snacks, and quiet moments, something begins to bloom. Ritsu's teasing turns gentle. Kairo starts noticing his warmth, his persistence, his sincerity. Even though Kairo hides behind his mask, Ritsu never pushes too far. He just stays close enough to remind him he's not alone. Days turn into weeks. Kairo's grades improve, and so does his confidence. But emotions grow complicated. He starts thinking about Ritsu more often than he'd like to admit. One afternoon, while they're reviewing equations, Ritsu's hand brushes against Kairo's. The room falls silent. For a second, both look at each other, their hearts racing. Cairo quickly looks away, unsure what to feel. That night, he lies awake, remembering that brief touch, and realizing that what he feels might not just be gratitude. Then, unexpectedly, someone from Cairo's past reappears at school, a girl named Hina Kobayashi. Seeing her fills Cairo with guilt. Years ago, in a moment of anger, he said cruel things to her. She had tried to defend him when others teased him about a small mole on his face, but he misunderstood her and lashed out. Since then, he began hiding behind his mask, afraid of his own words, afraid of hurting people again. Haunted by guilt, Cairo starts avoiding Ritsu, thinking he doesn't deserve his kindness. But Ritsu notices the sudden distance. One afternoon, he corners Cairo by the lockers. "Why are you avoiding me?" he demands. Cairo finally breaks down. "Because I don't want you to get hurt. I always say the wrong things. I'm better off alone." Ritsu takes a deep breath, steps closer, and says, "Then let me decide if I want to stay." His tone is serious now, no jokes, no teasing. "I'm not playing, Cairo. What I feel for you is real." Cairo stares at him, speechless. No one had ever said something like that before. Slowly, he removes his mask. Tears stream down his cheeks as he confesses everything. The mole, the bullying, the girl he hurt, the fear that made him hide his face. Ritsu listens quietly, then gently wipes his tears. "You don't need to hide anymore," he says. "The real you is more beautiful than any mask." For the first time, Cairo smiles. An honest, unguarded smile. Days later, while walking home together, Cairo spots a small keychain on the ground. Ritsu recognizes it. It belongs to Hina, the girl from before. They decide to return it. But when Cairo finally faces her, he hesitates. Ritsu gives him a reassuring nod. "You can do it." Cairo calls out her name, without the mask this time. His voice trembles but doesn't break. He apologizes sincerely, handing her the keychain. Hina smiles softly. "I'm glad you're showing your face again." At that moment, Cairo feels something inside him lift. The heavy wall he built all these years finally crumbles. When he turns around, Ritsu is watching him with proud eyes. Without hesitation, Cairo runs to him and blurts out everything he's been holding back, his gratitude, his confusion, and his love. Ritsu smiles and pulls him into a warm embrace. And that's how their story ends. Not with perfection, but with healing, courage, and the reminder that love begins the moment we stop hiding who we are. If you liked this story, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more emotional anime recaps like this one. Because sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is simply take off your mask.